following program is intended for mature audiences.
All right. You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Welcome back. Part 2 of the tradition like no other, the Bass Ask Us Anything edition, which is so big we had to do a two-parter this year. So should we just pick up where we left off, guys?
Not even a two-parter. This is
actually part 3.
You're listening to part 3, part 2.
Yeah, I was a bit freaked out when I saw that in my feed. It was like part 2. I'm like, wait, they didn't do part 2 without me, did they?
No, I split it in 2 because it would have been a 2.5-hour episode, and I thought no one wants to sit through that.
I figured as much, but there's a brief moment like, wait, did I forget doing a part 2?
Think of it as episode 328's parts A and B. This is episode 329, parts C and D, I guess. Hopefully, C and D. God, let's hope it doesn't go any further than that.
We have a long alphabet. We can get through it.
So should we pick up where we left off?
Let's.
If you're following along on the boards, it's a post from me, and it says from the Bass email account, and that's where we're going to pick it up from here. If you could change the result of any game or playoff series in the history of sports, college or outside the Big Four can be included, which one would you change and why?
So I narrowed this down to 2 different series. I have pluses and minuses for both, but the first one is the series in, I guess, 2 years ago now, or 3 years ago now. Ducks versus Kings, second round, Stanley Cup playoffs, 7-game series. Ducks lose Game 7 in just awful fashion at home with a whole bunch of douchey Kings fans in the building. It was Teemu Selanne's last NHL game. The Kings ended Teemu's career. And obviously, like I said, Kings fans chanting up in our own building, which was terrible to sit through. The game was god awful.
That was the year that they were down like 3-0 before anybody knew what hit them, right?
Yeah. And then what was the final part of it? It was just, now the Ducks and Kings have only played each other once in the playoffs, so now the Kings that year, of course, went on to win the Stanley Cup again. So this is also...
Wasn't that that was the year that they came back from 3-0 to beat the Sharks the round prior, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Every series they played except for the final went 7 games. So not only did they get at the time we were tied in cups, so they got the bragging right of we beat you in the playoffs, but then they went on to go win their second cup and hold, both of those playoff markers over the Ducks. But my only issue with that a little bit is that it was just a second round series. We still would have had to play the Blackhawks and then had to play whoever you would play in the Cup final, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But then you go to the next season when the Ducks do make it to the Western Conference final. You go to Game 7 against the Blackhawks at home, and they lay another just friggin' goose egg. They don't show up again. And so now you say, well, you change that, they go on to the final, and the Ducks would have probably taken on or beaten Tampa just like Chicago did. And so you say, well, even if they win that game, they probably win another cup. So it's kind of win the cup versus my hatred of the Kings. I lean toward the Kings part because they wouldn't have had the second cup. It's possible the Ducks could have gone on to win their other cup, and then they don't have the bragging right of they beat you in the playoffs. And who knows? You could have ended Teemu Selanne's career on a victory lap rather than how it ended.
But I would think though that if you beat Chicago and then go on to win the cup, then sure, the Kings have the playoff bragging rights, but then you even up the the cups at 2 apiece, whereas there's no guarantee if you get it, that you make it to the finals, even if you beat Los Angeles. And I guess there's no guarantee that you beat Tampa, but it seemed a lot more likely, considering that it's not like Chicago had any great difficulty with them.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's just you don't have to deal with these people on a regular basis.
Well, okay, we've covered this game like a few times now, so
yeah. Anyway, what about you guys?
1993 Western Conference Finals. Again, both of our teams being hurt by the Kings, Zach. So, now, granted, it's not like I was paying attention, so it's not like this one hurt me deepened personally. But it kind of has to do with the stigma that hangs over the Leafs' heads of like losers since '67, because while that Canadiens team was on fire that year, that Leafs team was nothing to sneeze at either. Whereas that Kings team that did manage to get by, and that was pretty much Gretzky carrying some guys. And I don't know. I'm willing to take the 93 Leafs chances against the 93 Habs. Yeah, so I would like to see the Leafs get the 93 Western Conference championship, and then see what let the cards fall where they may from that point onward.
Anybody want to take any guesses as to what mine might be?
Could it be
the drive game?
Is it the drive? Is it the fumble? Is it?
If I could change one, change the outcome, it would be the fumble, because it was so much more exciting for them to be coming back. We're talking about, of course, the '87 AFC Championship, Broncos. The comeback, because they were down 21-3 at the half, and they stormed back. And when Binder fumbled, that was, a lot of people forget this, that was the tying touchdown. That was not the go-ahead score. They would have tied the game with that touchdown. If they converted the extra point. But that's the one, if I could change it, that would be the one, because it was, you were so low at halftime, and then your team starts mounting this incredible comeback, and they had all the momentum in the world. Everything was just, you knew that if they got in and scored to tie it up, they were going to win the game, and lo and behold, no. So that's the one I would change. I would change the fumble. I'd change all of them if I could, but if I had to pick one, it would be the fumble, because of the excitement of getting your ass kicked in the first half, coming back all the way back in the second half, and then having your heart ripped out, which I think was worse than the drive. You'd have to ask other Browns fans, but to me, of the two, the fumble was much harder to swallow than the drive was. I almost expected the drive. The fumble was just like, oh God, no. So that's the one I would switch. Would be the '87 AFC Championship game. So up next,
question 2: if you could prevent one team from relocating in the history of sports, which one would you keep in its original city? Yeah, you can include aesthetics in your answer too.
Mike?
I think the second part of the question with the aesthetics makes it an easy choice for me, especially considering the state of how this team is currently, looks-wise and just as a franchise. Hartford Whalers, stay in Hartford, never go to Carolina. Don't deal with that nonsense.
That's a good
Keep
one.
the best logo in sports history.
That's a good one.
I would actually say that exact one. The only other one that comes to mind as absolutely that I would say is necessary would be to keep the Nordiques in Quebec, but the NHL's asshattery aside, the fact is that Quebec's got an arena and has the market, so I think Quebec will get a team eventually. So
Colorado's pretty good. It's not like Colorado's been some mess that they need to clean up.
Yeah. And Colorado has done a good job as an NHL market. So, I'm willing to say that wrong will be righted, on its own. But, the Hurricanes, I mean, nobody cares in Raleigh. And Greg, remember a few months back you were talking about how, like, you drove through Raleigh and you were like, this is just sprawling suburbia.
Yeah.
There is no culture here. There is no community here. It's just
I can't imagine. I mean, I wish they would. I think it would be great if they would support the Hurricanes, and maybe they do to an extent. But it would never. I don't care if they ran off 5 cups in a row. I don't think it would ever be like it was in Hartford. Now, I always thought Hartford had good fans. They were just I think they, the old Fabulous Sports Babe radio show used to say that they played in a strip mall. I don't know how close to accurate that is, but that's how bad it was. Yeah, so I would agree that, I think the Hurricanes, I'd put the Whalers back too. Plus, great uniforms. Come on.
Yeah.
I think
the other options in terms of ones that we could probably all agree on, even though the Nationals are fine, I don't mind the Nationals.
Well, I've got an answer for each sport when you guys are done, so go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'd keep the Expos in Montreal.
Yep.
that would make a lot of people in my family very happy.
I would keep. I'm trying to think because there's been more than you think in football, So I think I would keep. I guess I would keep the Oilers in Houston. Mm-hmm. Either the Oilers in Houston or the Colts in Baltimore, I think, are the two that I would. Because I think if you keep the Colts in Baltimore, it probably stops a whole lot of other dominoes from falling down the wall.
Yeah, that was really the first one that because all of a sudden Baltimore's open. So,
well, it started with that round. Now, there were a lot of franchise relocations back in the 50s because the league was not anywhere near what it was.
The Providence Steamrollers
by the 80s, But in the 50s, it was still kind of a
Dayton Triangles.
It was a distant second to Major League Baseball. It wasn't the juggernaut that we know today, but by the 80s, it was. And the Colts moving kind of set the dominoes rolling or falling, because then that was followed by the Raiders and then the Cardinals, and then we had the Great Migration of '95, and the Colts kind of set that all in motion. Obviously the answer to me would be to keep the original Browns, but that's just too easy. Yeah. I'm going to go one from each sport. I agree with the Expos, but this is going to be one that I think will surprise people. If I could pick one and change it, I would keep the Dodgers in Brooklyn. Just because I think how cool would it be if they still played in some version of Ebbets Field, they were still the Brooklyn Dodgers. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah, but wasn't the only viable plan to keep them in that general area, like some dome monstrosity in Queens?
Yeah, they put together some sort of plan to keep them in Brooklyn, but you've got Los Angeles sitting out there, the whole West Coast, a completely untapped market for Major League Sports basically at that time. I think the only Big Four team out there at the time would have been the Rams, if I remember right. And
it was just
it.
The Rams.
But you've got, and baseball was king back in the late 50s. And you've got San Francisco and L.A. just sitting there. So, of course, Walter O'Malley and I forget the name of the Stoneham, I think was the name of the guy that owned the Giants. Of course they're going to move, but it would have been cool to keep the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I think it's really interesting that had those two moves not happened, so had the Giants stayed in New York, had the Dodgers stayed in Brooklyn, that in a lot of ways that would be the closest North American pro sports would have gotten to British soccer,
right? Where there's five.
Where it's London has 5 teams.
Yeah, they represent. Well, even when it comes to the top division, you go to any of those places in Europe. And you have all these teams that represent neighborhoods or just little piece of the city. Some of them are on lower levels, but they still have, that's the local club. You're going to support your local club in what they do. So that always is interesting. But
yeah, I'd keep the Colts in Baltimore too. I think that's a good one, and I'm with you guys on keeping the Whalers in Hartford.
Obviously, the one from basketball that we need to correct is keeping the Grizzlies in Vancouver.
Well, of course, absolutely.
I'm going to go out right now and tell you, with absolutely no sarcasm, with absolutely no embellishment, nobody in Vancouver gave a shit about the Grizzlies.
Oh, but Stevie franchise.
God. Okay.
Big country. Bryant Reeves. Come on, man.
Yeah. And those uniforms.
During the Grizzlies last season, they had in Vancouver. They were the last game. What ended up being the last game in Vancouver, they had a what was it? It was some sort of special. It was a jumbotron video presentation. It was these are the great moments from Grizzlies franchise history. And
weren't they there for 3 years?
No. They're there for, I want to say 10.
Really?
10 years. But yeah, it was not an insignificant amount of time. But the point being is that because hockey and basketball season, kind of run hand in hand, the Canucks were in the middle of a playoff push. And apparently during this video presentation, somebody yelled out in the crowd, "Put the Canucks game on!"
Ooh, that's mean.
By the way, it was not 9 or 10 seasons. It was 6.
I was going to say 10 sounded like an awful lot to me.
They were
6?
95 to 2001.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought that they moved to Memphis a lot later.
And what a move in terms of cities, that is. Vancouver to Memphis. Like, it's not like you're going from Vancouver to New York or something. It's like Memphis.
I think that, in all seriousness with basketball, I put the Sonics back in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
but if I had my way about it, though, if I had my way about it and I could do this, like just wave a magic wand and make sports the way I want them, I'd do all the moves we're talking about, but also the American Basketball Association would still exist as a competitive league against the NBA. The NFL would have never merged with the AFL. It would be like a National League, American League type thing in baseball where they'd only play each other in the Super Bowl. And, I think that would be really cool. And and the WHA would still be around because I'd still have my Cleveland Crusaders.
If you're doing that, like, I would have liked to see the AFL overtake the NFL.
I think it would have eventually at some point. I really do.
Because say what you will about Al Davis, but he is the commissioner. He was playing for keeps. He was not. He was cutthroat about that. But in terms of basketball, maybe I'm letting current events or current-ish events sour my view on Seattle, but the way Seattle kind of conducted themselves during that whole Sacramento Kings thing really left me lukewarm to the idea of them with a basketball team. It's like, no, you don't get your toys. So,
well, to be perfect, if we want to stop, like we said with the Colts, stop dominoes from falling, you keep the Sonics in Seattle by letting the Hornets stay in Oklahoma City.
No, exactly. That's weird because I don't think they officially, like, quote unquote moved to Oklahoma City. So, but at the same time, yeah, I would have. And you know what? They probably would. It's strange because the only reason they were in Oklahoma City was because of Hurricane Katrina, which is probably the thing that kept them in New Orleans because the league didn't want to be seen as like abandoning.
Yeah.
New Orleans, but yeah, if the Hornets had stayed in Oklahoma City, because I think we can all agree that, misgivings about the Sonics leaving notwithstanding, Oklahoma City has stepped up to support that team.
But they had a ready-made contender, yeah. Let's see what happens when they go 35 and 47 a couple of times. All right, anyway, let's okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, they turned out to support the Hornets that season.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Next question.
Anyway.
Would you rather, and I know you guys don't like the Seahawks or the Patriots, so I have to ask this question out of morbid curiosity. If you had to choose between Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks matching Joe Montana and Tom Brady with 4 Super Bowls, or having Tom Brady and the New England Patriots leave the game with 1 or back-to-back Super Bowl victories and ultimately living in a world where he's won either 5 or 6 championships, which would you choose? So basically,
that's easy.
Wilson with 4 Super Bowls or Brady picks up another 2.
I think this is pretty easy for me, too.
I'm going to go with Brady picks up the other 2.
Me too.
Because at this point, even me, with all the arguments that you've heard from me against Tom Brady, you can't deny his accomplishments or what he's been over this generation of football. And if he got another Super Bowl or another 2, it wouldn't change my opinion on him. It wouldn't make him that much better or that much, he would just still be the best quarterback of this generation. And
I mean, at the end of the day, nothing changes. Like, Tom Brady could retire today, right? And he'd go down as, one of the best, of his era. Yeah. And that's not going to change if he wins 1 or 2 more championships. Whereas Russell Wilson, if he got into that discussion, I might have to kill myself.
Right.
Yeah, no thank you.
I mean, when the guy, like, when you read an article on Deadspin that says Russell Wilson says he's allowed to have sex with his girlfriend now, that guy they should take away the Super Bowl he does have based on that alone.
Well, yeah, and congratulations to you, Russell, for following the path of Jesus, getting married to Sierra, of all people, and allowing yourself to have sex. So.
Fucking
and not only doing that, but then announcing,
right?
Okay, congratulations, go bone and literally break a leg, so I don't have to see your stupid face anymore.
Well,
They
yeah,
put
so
some
we're all
Argo
agreeing on that.
cameras and camera phones at their wedding, so that there'd be no pictures. Like, who the hell cares?
Right.
Again, which is why I thought that Aaron Rodgers is now one of my favorite players, because when they beat the Seahawks last, he was like, "I guess God was a Packers fan."
That's right. Well, not to mention, Russell Wilson is a guy who drives around with a fucking tuxedo in his car at all times, just in case he needs it. Do we need any other reason than that not to vote for him to get the four Super Bowls?
Which, by the way, just to go back to something you and Zach have been talking about on basically a football show.
Coming back to a podcast stream near you.
That's right.
Indeed. But it's like, okay, that's sort of like how you know that Russell Wilson's whole, humble persona is all manufactured, because Andrew Luck does not drive. I guarantee you he does not. I guarantee there's a good chance Andrew Luck does not even own a tuxedo.
I'd agree. But how awesome would it be? Him and that neck beard and a tux would be pretty freaking funny, though, if you ask me.
Well, he came into camp clean shaven.
No.
But he starts it anew every season, so he does that. He's helping some of his teammates with their math homework, and he runs a book club.
And you know what? You don't hear about it every day, do you?
No.
Russell Wilson, I don't know what he's trying to do.
You know what?
I've hated that fucker since the first time I saw him in an interview and he did that stupid "Go Hawks" afterwards. It's like, dude, fuck off. Just go fuck off. I don't even want to talk to you.
I want to join Andrew Luck's book club. I bet you it's amazing.
Yeah.
They also play a lot of Settlers of Catan. So
I think Pride and Prejudice was the book last month, Mike.
Was it?
I don't know.
Are we going to start seeing like stickers on books like Andrew Luck approved?
Yeah, there you go. The Andrew Luck Book Club. It'll be better than Oprah's. Who wants the next one?
Yeah, let's do these ones quick hit style.
Yeah,
because
all right.
they're all quick. What's your guys' go-to karaoke song? Friends in Low Places, Garth Brooks.
Mike?
Electric Six, Danger High Voltage.
I knew it was going to be an Electric Six tune.
You know what? It's fantastic.
I have never done karaoke in my entire life, but if I did, I think the song I'd want to do would be War Pigs by Black Sabbath, just because it would just be like, what the fuck is going on? So War Pigs by Black Sabbath. What movie scene gets the waterworks going? Real quick for me, I can do three real quick.
Yeah.
The Apollo 13 at the end when they finally make contact with the command module and everybody cheers and all that. That one gets me every time. Field of Dreams, the baseball speech by James Earl Jones. And believe it or not, and thank God my buddy Andy and our former colleague will back me on this, the scene at the end of A League of Their Own when they all go to the women all go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Those are my three.
There's no crying in baseball, Greg.
There is in this particular case, yes. And another, just a small little speech in that movie. That's just such a great baseball movie moment. When she goes, "It's too hard," and he goes, "It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great. If it was easy, everybody would do it." I'm like, that's fucking awesome. All right, go ahead. Those are my three.
For me, would it be cheating if I just said all of Schindler's List?
That's a different kind of waterworks, though. That's just. I mean, I agree with you 100%. That movie's difficult to get through.
Okay. Similar kind of sort of movie. Masada.
Okay.
That one always gets me.
Zach?
I know there's a scene in Miracle that always does it for me.
Is it the speech?
It might be the speech. I know. I mean, I at least get goosebumps every time I hear the speech.
I don't know. When Rizzo hits that game-winning goal, that's a pretty good one too.
That's pretty good. And the other one that just even though I've seen the movie 9 times already, fairly recent, of course. Spoiler alert: if you still don't know what the hell this is, when Kylo brings his Papa Han in real close and then gives him a little lightsaber shib.
Oh yeah, that one.
It's just like
that one's right up there too. Yeah.
Because I know what's coming every time, too. It's like, no, Han, don't go on the bridge. Don't go out there, buddy.
I mean, we talked about it before, but yeah, it's one of those cases where you know it's happening because Harrison Ford doesn't want to do these anymore, but at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took him 7 movies, but he finally got himself killed. It was only in 3 of them, but he finally did it.
Yeah.
Who wants the next one?
What's the worst pickup line you've ever heard that actually worked?
Oh, this is easy.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
So, my friend Eric once said this to a girl. Hey, you should come back to my place. My mom will make us pancakes in the morning.
And it worked?
Yeah.
Damn. Eric, nice job. That's pretty good.
That's a solid one. I like that. Jeez, I don't know. I mean, I've heard plenty of bad ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can remember like one that sticks out as like that worked. I know I've heard a story. I've heard plenty of stories, but I don't know. I don't have anyone that sticks out.
Does it count if it worked on me?
Sure, why not?
Okay,
Tell the story.
This was in the 80s, and I was at this bar in Toledo, and this girl walked up to me. We call it like the fourth quarter was like from 1 o'clock on, and then like after 1:30 it was a 2-minute warning. She came up during the 2-minute warning and said, "I really like your eyes." And I said, "Okay," and I'll leave it at that. But the worst ones I've ever heard that worked are always something to do with the eyes, because it's just the stupidest thing you could say. But
yeah,
always with the eyes. It's like, give me a break. Okay, are we done with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we are.
If a theme song played every time you entered a room, what would it be?
Wow, I have no idea on this.
Mine, I know. It's at the end of the first Star Wars, not Episode 1, but A New Hope. When they go into the I don't know, what would you call that? The celebration room where they all get their medals.
Yeah.
Oh, the Triumph of the
one.
Will scene.
Yeah. Bum ba da bum bum ba da na na na.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good option.
I'm entering the room. Listen to me. I'm glorious.
I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm going to go with the Undertaker's theme. Let's stick with the theme here. I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to go...
I mean, how awesome would it be if lightning started striking and all the smoke and shit came out every time I walked into a room? I would like that.
I had one. I just had one.
Is it the Transformers theme?
No, it's not. Damn it! God damn it! I had it. I had it, and then I lost it.
Mike, I have a question. Every time you leave somewhere, do you say transform and roll out?
No.
Because I do occasionally. It's like, come on, everybody, let's go. And I say, yep, transform and roll out. And, sometimes it works.
That's a tough theme song. That's a tough one. I like Zach's answer. I think I would go with... No, you know what? I'm going to go with the Cantina Band song from Star Wars. That's my... that's the one I'm going to use. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm blanking. I had an answer and then I lost it.
Just say just say the theme from Superman and then be done.
No! I just remembered. Although same composer, Jurassic Park theme.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Who is your celebrity doppelganger?
Oh man.
Now, Andy's not a part of the show tonight, but if he were here, I have the perfect one for him. He is a freaking dead ringer for Charlie Hunnam that plays Jax Teller on Sons of Anarchy. Those two dudes look exactly alike. Like, I've seen pictures of Andy, and I go, like, he'd post something on Facebook, like, why is Andy posting a picture of Jax Teller? I'm dead serious. They look that much alike, but go ahead. Sorry.
I don't have a good one. I've always thought. I think we have, yeah.
I remember we did a thing where, like, if the CCSLC were made into an HBO miniseries.
Yeah, but that's different. That's who would play you. We're talking like, who do you look like? Like a celebrity that you look like. It looks like you, I guess, whatever.
I mean, I don't have any good ones that I can think. I mean, somebody can tell me whether I'm wrong or not, but I've always thought I kind of looked a little bit like Matt Damon. Kind of.
I can see it a little bit, yeah. I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that.
I don't know. It's not. There's nothing that's solidly like, oh yeah, you're him. It's just
Yeah, same. I can't, like, I've never. I can't think of anyone.
Well,
I'm tempted to just stroke my ego and be like, oh, obviously Daniel Craig, but
I'm trying to think of. Let me think, Mike. If there's anybody I can think of for you. I probably could if I had time to think about it, but we don't want to get too bogged down in this. As far as Mike, in my case, one time a guy I used to work with said that I looked like John Larroquette. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he goes, and somebody else told me I looked like Jim Belushi, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world.
Ideally, you want to be John.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be Jim Belushi.
I'll take it, though. And then somebody wants somebody to look like John Cusack, which I don't buy at all. I don't think there's not a bit of a resemblance there. Okay. You get the green light to ban or, ban or unban one CCSLC member, no questions asked. Who do you take out, bring back?
I'm stepping aside for this question.
You have to excuse yourself from this, and you can't really be a part of this.
Yeah, no, this could lead to trouble, so I'm stepping aside.
As a board moderator, you're not.
Yeah, you can't really. It could really look bad on you.
Unban. I can't think of anybody in particular. I mean, I don't know, Greg. Have you had any interactions with Tank since he's been gone?
A couple here and there.
Does he seem like a changed man?
No. No.
I don't know. Maybe
I can't really say. I mean, I'm trying to think who I would bring back. I know. I wrote this down. I remember. I made a point to note this. Funky Bunky, I would bring back.
Yeah, I still interact with him on Twitter still. So he's
and I generally was surprised when he was banned. I remember I didn't know why, and I asked you guys, and you gave me a good reason. But yeah, he
went off. He kind of went off he had a blaze of glory thing.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard, because like my interactions with him were always good. And I will say this too. The fact that he is a loyal Bass listener has nothing to do with the fact that I'd bring him back. And
I just need a Bucks fan in my corner.
And who would I ban?
Something that's not 6.
Who would I ban? Wow. That's a tough one. I don't Viola, because some of these guys they're such assholes. Like him, New Order, Viola. Just because and people are going to go because they're political views. That's why you're lefty and they're right. No, that's not it at all. They're just jerks. They just don't. They try so hard to be assholes. I would ban them. Maybe the Admiral, just because.
I got mine. T-Roy Concepts.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't really ban
somebody extolling the virtues of Cam Ward. I can't.
Now, I extol the virtues of Cam Ward when it comes to milking a single accomplishment for the rest of his career. That deserves.
Yeah, that's something.
I extol the virtues of Cam Ward that he got me goalie start points 2 years ago in our hockey league.
Because they had literally no one else.
Yep. It was like, he's probably going to get lit up, but he'll be out there and I'll get goalie points. I'm like, I'd always think him out going, well, if he can keep it like under 4, I'll be okay. Anyway, let's move on past the CCLC stuff because I don't want to get too much deeper into that. I really wouldn't ban the Admiral. I was just kidding.
Yeah.
If there were a Majestic 12, because we know they don't exist, who would sit at the head of the table? I'm going to just give it to LMU and be done with it.
Well, it's a hexagonal table. There is no head.
Oh, okay. There's your answer then. All right, moving along.
Although I do want to say, if it was going to be anyone, it's probably going to be Adam because he made the belt.
That's true. You got to give him credit for that. What's the worst logo you've ever seen? Now, see, this one's going to take all night. My God.
No. Give me a while to think about it, and I'm sure I could come up with something in like the next minute or so.
The worst logo I've ever seen. Is that? I'm assuming they mean sports logos, right?
Yeah, I would have to think. I'm looking it up right now because it's just the one that jumped into my head. It's from the Phoenix Coyotes.
While you're looking that up, I'll just throw this in. Now, if you're talking just like how bad they look, a lot of the old stuff is pretty terrible. I mean, you've seen like the old Bruins logo or the old Cubs logo. You got to give that a pass, though, just right,
because it's the 20s and they don't know how to draw.
Modern day, I don't like to think it was the Clippers, I guess.
I've got one for you.
Okay, go ahead,
I've got
Mike.
one.
Pretty
okay, now the Clippers is bad. I'm not defending the Clippers by any stretch of the imagination. but I present to you from the Roller Hockey International League, the Toronto's team, actually.
Okay, yeah, because you weren't gonna. Oh wait, it's different league. I was gonna say you can't besmirch the name of salsa.
Oh,
No,
I remember this logo. Yeah, okay, Mike, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with that. That's pretty bad.
The Toronto Planets.
See, I
This is
like
the
the
one-
name.
This is the one that jumped into my head, and I don't know why. It's an alternate logo from the Phoenix Coyotes.
Okay. Wait, it's not showing up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'd say that. That one's egregious to me because, like, the standard Phantom of the Opera Coyote had, like, it wasn't needlessly aggressive, but it still kind of worked.
Yeah.
And then this looks like someone from marketing is just like, oh, can we put a growly face on that? And then they made that.
Oh, okay, it finally showed up. That is bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like someone kind of worked with something that was better and put a face on it. Okay, what's the point of minor league baseball having home and away uniforms when they wear stupid gimmicky crap anyway? Well, you got to wear something on the road, right?
And it's minor league baseball. Shut up and enjoy the fun.
Right.
They don't wear stupid gimmicky crap every single game.
No.
They do have regular uniforms.
Yeah.
And at least the stupid gimmicky crap is generally fun, as opposed to the stupid gimmicky crap of, say, University of Oregon Ducks, where it's not even fun alternate stuff. It's just the same stupid uniform, but now in a different shade of gray.
Yeah, of gray and black.
Yeah.
Can I borrow $10? No.
No.
Is that 10 American dollars or 10 Canadian dollars?
Let's say. Well, now it's going to be American because we're all in America, so $10 American.
I still have a $10 Canadian note. He can have that if he wants.
You communist. You changed that into an Alexander Hamilton. Right away.
Okay.
But it's got John A. McDonald on it.
I'll take it.
No
I'll take it. All right, this is a good question, Mike. I like this question actually. Have you changed your posting style on the board since you've become a moderator?
Yes. There have been a few times, like anyone who's been around for any number of years would know that I can be very argumentative and opinionated about things I care about.
No.
And even some things that I have no reason to care about, but I just feel like I'm right. But there have been times since becoming a moderator where, I type something up, and then before I hit post, I'm like, I probably shouldn't say that.
That is a good rule of thumb for everyone on those boards to kind of take a look before you post.
Ideally, I shouldn't have needed that. I shouldn't have needed to become a moderator to have that instinct, but whatever, it got there sooner or later.
Okay.
Greg, why do you call the Admiral Lieutenant Colonel?
Well, believe it or not, there's a story behind this.
I thought it was just because it was funny. There's a story?
Well, not a story, but I shouldn't say a story. I stole that. It's, Mike, you might remember. There was a TV show, and maybe you too, Zach, I don't know, but there was a character that always called this guy by the wrong name. No matter, it was always a variation of his name, but never the correct one. And I can't remember. Pardon me?
Is it Scrubs or Dr. Cox keeps calling him by a girl's name?
That might be it. I just always thought it was funny that he never got the name right. And that's I picked it up from there, and that's why I do it. It's not meant to
Now,
be.
why Lieutenant Colonel?
Just because it's a military rank.
Oh.
That's the one I go with the most. I've called him the sub commander, captain. I called him a gull once. Let's see. Corporal, if I'm really pissed off at him, I drop him down to non-commissioned officer status.
Oh, wow.
I've called him the major. I've called him also general, brigadier general. I haven't used that one in a while. Maybe I'll go back to brigadier general. But mostly, I don't know if it bugs him or not. I don't really care. I just did it because I thought it was funny and because I don't really know why. That's just, I picked it up from that, though. I stole the whole idea. So there you go. Zach, what percentage of your posts are about hockey, do you think?
85.6.
You really think it's that high? Seriously?
Actually, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
No, I mean, maybe not 80. Probably in the 70s.
Although,
because is it just hockey as in like the hockey threads, or do we count hockey logos, hockey jerseys?
I think I would say count all of it. Anything hockey related, I would say.
Yeah, then it's definitely in the high 70s.
Do you count?
It's my favorite thing.
Do you count correcting T. Roy concepts about Cam Ward in that?
Yeah, as much as Cam Ward is technically a hockey player, you know.
Hey,
he does wear skates.
Dude, they put him in the net. I got points for it. He counts. Simple as that.
Kind of just like how Mike Smith is technically a gold medal Olympian.
Right. Mike Smith.
I'm so glad we took that goalie start stat out.
Me too. I had to fucking carry Cam Ward. How do you think I felt? I put him in and I would pray. I'd be like, just don't get lit up like with 7 or 8 goals. Keep it to 4 or less. That was my goal with him. Yeah, Mike Smith. I love that. We all played exactly as much Olympic hockey as he did, and he's got a gold medal. What's the last one? Did we do this one last week, or am I imagining that?
No, your free pass.
Who is your free pass celebrity? This is to all 3 of us.
Oh, free pass. Okay.
Funnily enough, my girlfriend and I have had this conversation recently, and it's one of those things where like I have a list, but it's a very fluid list. Like, depending on what I've seen recently, how I'm feeling that day, they move up and down the list. So I don't have any one in particular. Whereas, on the other hand, hers is Chris Evans 100 times out of 100. So I can't compete with Captain America.
No, not many people can. Mine is now obviously
Tony Stark can.
I keep mine like she has to be over 40 because anything else just seems weird to me. So
otherwise you become that guy.
Right, then I become that guy. And like anybody under 25, and I look at girls and I'm not seeing them like you guys see them. I'm seeing my niece. So I got to look at it like that. With me, Diane Lane. You guys know who she is?
I've heard the name.
Okay.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah, his mom. Yeah, I know. That was when I saw that. I'm like, fuck, am I old? Diane Lane's playing Superman's mom. And my other one, and Mike will know who this is, Katie Sackhoff, Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Anyway, but to actually put names on my list too, I'd say the top 2 right now are Margot Robbie and Blake Lively.
Good choices.
Yeah.
Especially Margot. That's a real good one.
Yeah, hockey fan too.
So I've heard. Mike?
Yeah. She's a Rangers fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, if I was only 20 years younger.
Chris Pine. There you go.
Really?
Captain Tiberius Kirk?
Yes. Captain James Tiberius Perfect Hair.
I can see that. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Moving along.
This one's probably for you, Greg, because I don't think none of us are going to know this. How many downloads does an average Bass episode get? Do we even know?
I have a rough idea. Now, if you go back to our more like radio days, we either had 11 downloads or 24 million, depending on who you asked.
Yeah, we were either the most listened to show in the world, or
12 people that accidentally stumbled upon us. Basically, there was no in between. We average downloads. It's kind of hard to say, but I know that we average around 50 from the archive.org site. We get, I'd say, roughly maybe 75 to 100. If you did it I don't know, like downloads necessarily so much as listeners. We do on a good week we'll get about 500 listeners. On an average week we do between like 150 and 250. That's the best I can tell you. And that's those numbers could go. They could be way high, they could be way low, but I'd say on average about 150 to 250 people a week listen to the show on average.
Which is more than I ever thought would listen to.
It's not bad. It really, I mean, when you think of how many podcasts are out there and all that, I think it's
not. You're not breaking the bank or anything on it. I don't think.
No, but
it's not like we could ever start selling advertising or anything like that.
No, but I'm very. I mean,
I still maintain that Tostitos. I mean, come on, who else is actually paying them any attention?
True.
So.
But yeah, I think we do pretty good for what we are. We really don't advertise the show anywhere, except the boards and Facebook, and I think it does pretty well. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I want any more listeners than that, because then it gets too much pressure. Then we have to be good. We have to actually act like we're trying hard, and I don't want to do that.
And don't we actually get more listeners for the football show? I thought you told me that once. Because we get the spike with people that care so damn much about anything NFL.
What'll happen is, usually, the football previews do really, really well. And then, and Bass has always been the number one show out of the quote unquote network. But if a Bags episode hits at the right time, like with Star Wars or a Transformers movie, where the interest is very high, it'll do really well. With us, if the week Auburn, Alabama, remember the crazy that week where there was all the crazy shit, the football show was off the charts that week because something really big happened. I guess people wanted to hear what we had to say about it. So it just kind of depends on that. But on average, they all do about the same. I mean, Bass is a little bit better, but in football season, the football show kind of becomes the king of the hill. Yeah, it's probably the biggest of the three, but not by a lot. But it is the most popular one when it's in season. Yeah.
And NFL, man.
Yep. And like I said, it fluctuates. There will be weeks, if it's a shitty week, the first 3 or 4 weeks in college football and in the NFL, Bass will win every week. But when things start getting interesting, then the football show takes over. That's how it works. So anyway, and Bags, like I said, if there's geeky shit going on, then they're the number one show. Just depends. So, all right, what's next?
What type of bass fish would you say best represents each of you?
Well, he wants us to walk right into this and say largemouth. And I'm going to go with a white striped bass.
Because it's the only one that I remember from the fish counts I take every week at the register. Calico.
Okay.
Because I have no idea.
I don't know enough about. I literally don't know anything about bass types.
Just say a striped bass, Mike. But we should all be striped bass because that would make perfect sense for the boards. There you go.
Is the bass one of those fish that would get the electronic ones that would be mounted and it sings songs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Was the one that was a bass?
Yeah. That's what we should all be, the singing one, the one that you sing. Yeah. They push the button and it sings. How long is it going to take to answer all these questions? A long time. And I think we get to
3 shows.
Next page here. Here we go. What's on page 3? Okay, we started arguing again. Mike, without Googling them, can you pronounce these British place names?
Can I have shoot me a link so I can see them?
No, they're on the boards.
Here.
All right.
There you go. There you go. I can say the first one. I can't say any of the other ones.
Is the first one just Leicester?
Yeah, it's Leicester.
Leicester, okay.
Leicester. Second one is Gloucestershire.
That's what I thought.
Then
are some of these even British or are these English? Some of these must be some dumb Welsh place.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the because Welsh is a nonsense language. I'm convinced they make up just to confuse everyone who's not Welsh. Okay. Ilanel?
Lanelli.
I'm going to go with llama just because it has 2 L's.
Okay. Let's see. Balminia?
I was going to go with Bomina. Because a lot of these things, there's so many freaking extra letters that you don't need. I was just going to drop the Y and just say Bomina.
Ponteland?
Pontland,
that's what I would go with.
I think it's Ponteland.
Pontyland.
Well, Stuart, to answer your question, no, we can't.
Vauxhall?
Sure.
Okay.
This next one with the hyphens in the Y in the middle, I don't know what that is.
You actually pronounce that, don't you? Liverpool.
Betsy Kid? Betsy Kid?
Bet you could. Bet you could. Get it? Bet you could. Meows.
Widecombe.
Him and Wild Wing are just listening to this right now, just laughing their asses off at us.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this one is meals, because generally speaking, meals. Because when it comes to weird British place names, I know enough to know that if you see like an E and an O, the O is silent, and it just makes the E before it like a hard E.
Okay. And
it's some weird thing from the Middle Ages that has just stuck around. Lakindum.
Widecomb.
Kindeby is the best I got there.
I'm going to go with Widecomb.
Yeah,
Widecomb.
They all have very large pieces of hair, and they need wide combs.
Right.
Yeah.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coca-Cola products, please.
I'd say 7 times out of 10 Coke, but every now and then I get in the mood for a Pepsi.
That's about where
and
I'm
yes,
at.
I actually can't tell the difference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you can't tell the difference, I don't know what your problem is. Yeah, that's me, too. I'd say 7 out of 10 Coke, Pepsi, the other 30%, yeah.
Yeah. If you could be any historical figure for a day, who would you be and why?
Oh, wow. For just a day?
Yeah.
I'm going to be, you know what I'm going to be? If for one day, I'm going to be Jim Craig of the 80 Olympic hockey team against the Russians. That's my guy right there. Or Mike Eruzione, one of those two.
Okay. I would want to be historical figure.
I mean, you could say a president or something. You don't get to do anything fun.
Yeah. Like, the one that jumped to mind was, like, JFK. Just because you're like, oh, he's the fun president. He got to have sex with Marilyn Monroe.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, too, I suppose, yeah.
But, you know, then once you mention it, it's like, no, you're probably going to do president stuff that day.
No, man, I'm between the pipes against the Russians in 1980. Are you fucking kidding me? That's where I'm on. I want to be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I play as well as he does, because they put me in there. Like, if they say, okay, you get to do that, but you get to do it as you, we lose like 37-0. How about it, Mike?
Paul McCartney at Shea Stadium.
Ooh, that's a good one too. That's good. Oh, damn, why didn't I think of that?
Let's see.
I'm gonna be Paul Stanley from Kiss for one day.
Paul Stanley now is the owner of the LA Kiss?
No, Paul Stanley from like '76 when they were still good.
By the way, the LA Kiss, they earned their first ever playoff berth.
Really?
And they could be the home team. They normally play in Anaheim. The circus is in town, so their home playoff game for the LA Kiss will be played in San Diego.
God. Any historical figure for a day? Winston Churchill.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. If I'm only him for a day, there's a pretty good chance I'm actually not going to screw up the war. And Winston Churchill he had a pretty fun time, considering it was World War II. So,
yeah. Well, speaking of that, add on to my answer, Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez, yeah.
Any day in the life of Teddy.
Any one day of Teddy's life is like 2 years in anybody else's life.
Yeah.
That Teddy was a bad motherfucker. I'm sorry, but he was.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Actually, now that I think about it, too, you know who else I wouldn't mind being? It would be like a pilot in World War II, like a P-51 pilot. As long as I got to come home afterwards and didn't get shot down.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we at here?
Next one is for Mike.
Oh.
Besides the usual family BS, what's one thing you think you'll miss about Canada and one thing you're excited for coming to the U.S./Florida for?
Well, this is going to be maybe a bit predictable, and maybe I'm being influenced because it is election season, but I am actually going to miss Canadian politics because, God damn it, they seem so much more sane in comparison.
Oh, now you get us.
Now
Dude,
it's like
a Marx Brothers
Donald
movie.
Trump versus Hillary Clinton. It's like, I miss Harper versus Trudeau. That made sense to me. This is just insanity.
What was the Marx Brothers movie where that little tiny country, Fredonia, attacked the United States and won? That shit's more sane than this. Come on.
Yeah, so I'm good. I mean, And I've always had an interest in politics, so I'm definitely going to miss that. I'm going to miss Canadian politics. I'm going to miss – I don't think I'll miss it because I'm still going to keep tabs on it, but I'm going to miss, being there and engaging in it. Most excited to come to the United States. This is going to sound really generic and really broad, but it honestly is the first thing that comes to mind. And it's just, experiencing life in a different country. It's something that not a lot of people get the opportunity to do, and you can make all the jokes you want. I certainly have about how it's like, oh, Canada and the United States aren't really foreign countries in comparison to each other, but we are in a lot of ways, and I'm kind of excited just to see what living in the United States is like. So,
well, good luck with that.
Greg, what's the most Florida thing you've seen since you've moved?
Oh, wow. Wow. The most Florida thing I've seen, I'm just going to put a general one. People wearing clothes that they have no business wearing. Like, some people need a lot more clothes than they think they should, and I see way too much of that. That's what I'm going to go with.
It's pretty good.
Zach, if you had to move for work, where would you like to go, and where would you avoid?
If I had to move for work, and I was choosing to move for work, I would be choosing I'd probably hopefully be working in the hockey media. So I'd want to go somewhere hockey-ish, kind of cold, but, manageable.
Wow, I hate to tell you where you'd want to be. Carolina.
Carolina. Yeah, no.
You don't want to say Nashville or else you get fired and replaced by the food critic.
No, I mean, the place I've always wanted to live, and it's still my dream to eventually live there, is New York City.
Wow,
I
really?
love the city. Yeah, I really do love the city. My family grew up in New York City.
Oh, I didn't know
moved
that.
out here. And so I've gone back there a few times. And it just, I love just being able to walk everywhere and using public transit. And
I love
New York City.
I think you should go to Nashville, Mike. It would be like, last night the Predators lost to the Ducks 5-3. Ryan Johansson with 2 goals, blah, blah, blah. And here's my recipe for biscuits and gravy. It'd be perfect. Come on, that would be awesome.
And where would I avoid? Man, I don't know. Winnipeg.
No, you don't want to avoid Winnipeg. If you move to Winnipeg, do you know how much primo curling you're going to get?
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah, lots of curling, but, you guys know why Ilya Brizgalov didn't want to move to Winnipeg, right?
He didn't. There weren't enough parks.
There were no parks. No, my children cannot play in the parks.
Okay, we just hit the hour mark, so let's pause here so we're not doing another marathon episode that make people sit through, and we'll come back and finish this bad boy up.
Yeah! All right.